All right, this is still Cambridge IELTS 15. This is test 2, and this is passage 1. We treated passage 2 earlier on, looking at MCQ, yes, no, not given. Okay, so if time permits, definitely we are looking at this question 1 to 6, which is on paragraph information. Okay, then we can look at the there as well. Okay, someone is saying she will appreciate if we can look at sentence completion and also summary completion too. Okay, so all right, let's see. Let's quickly go through this paragraph then. 1 to 6. So, oh, something is ready. You can still see my screen, the 2 PDF file, please.
Yes, we can still see both.
All right, good. So now we have the first question says reference to appealing way of dancing, blah, blah, blah. Now for paragraph information, we are looking at definitely that we are looking at the whole passage itself, knowing fully well that number 6 can be A, number 4 can be C. You understand? The information can be in paragraph 4. That's paragraph D. That's what I mean for question number 1. So now you may want to quickly skim through. Okay, just look at what they are saying in each, then look at the questions. All right. So question number 1 says reference to an appealing way of using dance that the writer is not proposing. Okay. Read question number 2 too. An example of a contrast between past and present approaches to building. 3 says, so okay, I can annotate this. So reference to an appealing way of using dance that the writer is not proposing. So this is very important. The writer is not proposing it, but it's an appealing way, okay? And it's a reference. So it can be an example, for instance, blah, blah, blah. So also an example, for instance, an illustration of a contrast between past and present approaches of, so present and past approaches of building. There's a mention of an aim or objective, what it's intended to do of both dance and engineering. So a paragraph talked about that. A paragraph also referenced an unforeseen challenges or problem of ignoring the climate, the weather, okay, has to do with the weather. Then why some measures intended to help, some ways they have taken to help people and they are reversing them, sorry. Now reference to how transport has had impact on human lives. Okay, so it's very good to read through everything, keeping in mind the key things you are looking for while you now read through the passage. Let me read through the passage. So it says that also I'm going to be highlighting what might be important. The way we travel around cities has a major impact. Now, traveling having an impact on whether they are sustainable. So blah, blah, blah. There is nothing here about sustainable energy. That's why I'm skipping that. So the way we travel affects our physical, mental health, and social life, blah, blah, blah. The air we breathe, okay? So I'm just looking for the major thing. So we need radical changes to make it healthier. You can see that this place is just talking about our health and all that. So that quickly points me to the fact that this one that talk about impact on human lives is likely A, all right? So it's always good when you have a paragraph, identifying paragraph information go through all the questions, have an understanding of what the key things are. Then when you come back to read the passage, you already have, you just come back that, okay, this sounds like what I'm looking for, and see whether, because there will also be traps, okay? All right, let me move on to paragraph B. Oh, I'll have to clear that. Oh, that's not so, it's not too good. What should let me see. Let me see if I can just erase those ones. All right, good. Better. So in paragraph B, dance might hold some of the answers to the problem transport has on human life, okay? So from here alone, I know this is all about dance and it could have a solution. So a reference to appealing way dance of using dance, okay? So it's likely this might be the answer to one, okay? Just from here that I'm saying dance might hold because it's an appealing way. Now, the writer now said, this is not to suggest everyone should dance their way to work. So he's not suggesting it, but it is an appealing way, okay? So straight away from this topic sentence, I know that this is talking about question number one, all right? Okay, so but then if you want to read through, you can, but most of them will be probably, so Richard Sennett, an influential urbanist and sociologist who has transformed ideas about the city and made, argues that urban design has suffered from separation between mind and body, since you can see. It might be useful for the next question type. For this one, I don't think so. Okay. I'm going to erase all that and come to paragraph C. Let me open. All right. So, whereas medieval, we talk about this, that's the Middle Age builders, okay? So, from the fact that I understand that this is the past, okay, it's a pointer to when they talk about the past and present, okay? But I'm not going to be quick to take my answer. So, whereas medieval builders, which is the same thing as Middle Age builders, improvise and adopted construction through their intimate knowledge of materials and personal experience of the condition on a site. So building designs are now. So you look for now. This is the past and this is the present. Okay. So conceived building designs now are conceived and stored in media technology that detach designer from the physical and social realities they are creating. So quickly, this is a reference to something. An example. So this is an example of a contrast between past and present approaches to building. You can see it's found in paragraph C, all right? So let's move on to, so we have read through paragraph C, that's what it means. So I'm going to erase it. Okay, all right, D. Now, for instance, I saw to illustrate, this is a reference, this is an example. So it's definitely one of those ones that I've not picked again, that have a reference, you understand? It's one of the references, an example, okay? So to illustrate, for example, this person discussed blah, 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 a developmental typical of the modernist approach of urban, prevalent, blah, blah, blah. So according to him, talking about new friendly downtown, blah, blah, blah. According to him, this failed because a designer had invested too much faith in computer-aided design to tell them how it would operate. They failed to take into account the purpose-built street cafes will not operate in the hot sun without protective. Now, look at it. This is something about a weather, okay? All right. So they failed because they didn't take note of weather. So a reference, all right, you can see to illustrate a reference to an unforeseen problem, okay, challenges they didn't know because of the weather. All right. It's quite straightforward, right? Reading is very sweet. It's very sweet. Very, very sweet.
The way you are doing it, I hope it will be soon like this in exam.
It's sweet.
Amen. Oh.
Like this for
Amen.
you.
Oh. I hope so.
In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Sweet, but
Receive it. All right. So now,
Amen.
all right. Mhm. Now, let's look at so the same is true in transport engineering, okay? So they are now talking about transport, they predict shape, blah, 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 the way people move through. Again, these modules are necessary, but they are built on specific worldviews in which starting from blah, blah, blah. It doesn't match what I'm looking for. There's a reason why I'm going through them, okay? Designs that seem logical, counterproductive. The guardrails, okay, I understand, no problem. Oh Jesus, where are you? In doing so, they make crossing, blah, blah, blah. All right, so what do I have left? Mention of an objective of bold dance. All right, so literally, probably this paragraph is just there for a different question, okay? And it's not for us now. You can see, it's just to waste our time. I'll move on. I have an objective to achieve. So I move on to paragraph F. If their designers had, so for me to know whether I'm going to stay much on that, I come back to my question. They are not talking about dance. So why should I waste my time? They're not, oh, why some? Oh, beautiful. Now, this is the answer. That is paragraph E. Sorry. That is paragraph E. They talk about guide rails. That is paragraph E. Okay. They talk about the guardrails. I was going to take note of that before. That will be familiar to anyone who has attempted to cross this. Then on wide major roads, they often guide pedestrians and slow down their progress, blah, blah, blah. Now, in doing so, they make crossing feel longer. Okay, psychological barriers greatly impacting and encouraging. Now, these barriers don't just make it harder, okay? And then as a result, many are now being removed. Okay, sorry. So as a result, many of the things they did before are now being removed. So while some measures designed to help people, so they were designed to help people, I'm sure there's a place here. It was a solution, will be familiar to anyone. It's a solution to pedestrian safety, okay? But now they are reversing, they are removing them because of another issue. So, all right. Okay. How do I know that I have to go back to that one? Simply, let's say, let me clear all those. I used my questions to guide me, okay? Now let's go to paragraph F because I saw dance. The only person I'm looking for now is dance. Okay. Now it says if their designers add the two like dancers, so this is talking about dance. And imagine how these barriers will feel. There might have been a better solution. So dance is creating something. Let me go back to my mention an objective of both dance. So I'm looking for objective. Mm, hmm. Okay. All right. So let's read. In order to bring about fundamental changes to the ways we use our city, engineering, we need to develop a richer understanding of why people move in certain and how these movements affect them. Choreography may not be the technique, yet it shares with engineering the aim of designing movements. Yet it shares with the aim. Yeah, this is the word, the aim. So they have the same. So it says mention of an objective of both dance and engineering. They are all about movements within limited space. Okay, so then that brings us to the end of every of the paragraph information we are looking for. So now, to better use your time, timely use of your time. Sorry, that might be tautology. So you have to go through the questions you have, because these are specific questions and you are looking for, there are more than that, referenced in the passage, but because these are specific questions, so it's better you start from reading all your questions, taking note of the things you need, references, appealing way, and you think of synonyms to all these words in your mind. So for example, that means, for instance, blah blah blah, something different and all that. Does anybody have a question on this? So question 1 is B, 2 is C, 3 is F, D, E, A. Any question regarding this type we just considered now?
Yes, I'm not clear on the question 2.
Okay.
It says an example of a contrast between past and present approaches to building.
Yes.
Fine, I understand the contrast between past and present approaches, but since it
Mm,
started with an example, so I was
okay.
thinking that option C would kind of look as if something like, for instance, to
Mm,
illustrate, something like that.
mm.
That was what I was actually looking for.
All right. All right. So now, so let's assume that's what we are looking for. So how you can also judge that that is the answer without wasting your time looking for example is that there was no other paragraph that talk about the past and the present. You agree?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so
Yes.
yeah, if I were you in exam condition, I will start this question and I will put my answer there as C and move on and start it so I can come back to it. Okay? Do you get me? But let's now say you
Yes, I do.
yeah, now you have some time. So you are now back to this question. So because, an example, contrast between past and now, approaches to build. So you are looking for, does he have an example? Okay, whereas medieval builders, okay, improvised and adapted construction through their intimate knowledge of material and personal. Let's say, while the design practices created by this new technology are essential for managing technical complexity of the modern city, they have the drawbacks. Yeah, what I could say is that because they are talking about a timeline here itself, okay, it's enough an example. They are talking about builders in middle age, okay? So assuming they said, whereas people previously built, you understand, and they mention all these things, and now you can say, okay, there's no, but this is an enough example for me, honestly. Okay, because this can be expanded itself. Whereas medieval, which is middle age builders, all right. Forgive me if I don't answer all your questions. All right, but you can see that.
No, fine, thank you.
All right. So, but you can see that when you have this question type, again, look at the major thing, because there are so many points in these passages, more than what you have here, but you are looking for this information. Highlight what you need And as you read through the passages, you will have to read through the passages. Yes. Okay. Look at the paragraph that have that specific information. So, because someone mentioned that we should attempt filling the gap and the like, so let's quickly look at the question that follow this one. We won't stay long on it. Let's look at this summary completion. If I'm right, I'm filling the gap of a thing. Now, one thing about when they talk about completing summaries, okay, it is simple. The fact that if you are very attentive, we treated one like that where they illustrated a content, a paragraph from the passage, they turn it to a diagram, okay? So if you are very, very attentive and you pay attention, you find out that they would have told you where to really major on. In this case, it's all about guardrails, which we saw in paragraph D. Okay? So there's no point looking for where is this thing? Where is this thing? Is it paragraph D now? I think paragraph E, yeah. So we saw guardrails. But before they got here, there was nothing, we have nothing to do about it. It's so simple because the word you are looking for is here, is in this passage, is in this paragraph. Everything you are likely looking for, okay? And then they move on to break this thing even to another paragraph as it were. So probably we might need this one too, okay? But let's look at it. So the guardrails were introduced on British road to improve the dash of pedestrians. Now, the dash. I know the word I'm looking for here is a noun. It's not a verb. Okay? The word I'm looking for in this place is a noun. All right?
Excuse me, Mr. Lubayo.
Yes, please.
It's blocking my screen again.
Oh, what's that thing? What's that thing now? Okay, hold on.
It's like a picture display or something.
Yeah. I'll move it away and see.
Thank you.
Is it better now?
No, it's still there.
Oh, what about now?
Madam, you have to move it yourself.
It doesn't have
Probably.
anything to do with me. He has
I
done
just
it
moved
before
mine
and it
up now.
worked.
I just moved.
But it's very, very clear from my hand.
All right,
I think it's
probably
from
you
your
can.
hand though, because I can't see what you're saying here.
So we cannot see what you are saying. All right. I just wish you all the best. Hold on. Is it better?
No, sir.
All right, hold on. So
She should slide back. Maybe she's sliding.
yeah. So once you click a point on your screen,
I'm not touching anything.
okay,
I've been viewing it since and I don't have any problem.
just hold on. Because we are brothers and sisters keeper, let me try. Hello, mentor. Mm-hmm. No. Mm-hmm. Mm. I've done everything I could from this end. Okay. All right, so we'll just move on. Can you hear me, please? Because I muted myself. All right. Can you hear me and can you see the screen? Please. Can you hear me and can you see the screen, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right.
Yes, sir. The screen
Oh,
is okay.
all right. Yeah. So we'll move on. So now for question 7, guardrails. So to help improve the dash of the pedestrians. So I said, I know I'm looking for a noun. Okay. So, and you are looking, you already know where we are likely going to find that. So the guardrails that will be familiar to anyone, that's British Road. For example, when where an engineering solution to pedestrian safety, okay? Now, because I know what I'm looking for, to improve what? What were they trying to improve here? They were trying to improve pedestrian safety, okay? Now, this is what I have in mind. Is this a noun? Yes. Does it fit into this place? Yes. Okay, so those are the questions you are going to ask yourself. Does it fit into this place? So I can say the British Road was introduced to improve the safety of pedestrians. Yeah, in all cases, they don't expect you to change the word. They already changed the format of the question to suit a word. Don't forget, one word only we are looking for to suit a word. To suit a word from the passage, okay? So pedestrian safety, you are not changing anything, just leave safety into this place. So guardrails were introduced on the British road to improve the safety of pedestrians. That makes sense. So if whatever you have picked from this passage is grammatically wrong, it cannot be the answer. All right. So moving on. So 7 is safety, while ensuring that the movement of dash is not disrupted. Okay. Now looking here, I want you to punch your keyboard. We have less than 10 minutes, okay? But I want you to punch your keyboard and tell me what the answer is to this one. Just leave it as a chat, okay? If you can. What do you think the answer to 8 is? Yeah, I can see people responding already. Okay. Okay. All right. Somebody got it, but you wrote the answer incorrectly, okay? All right, beautiful. So everybody got it right. So it is the movement of traffic. So they said while ensuring that the movement of traffic is not disrupted. So if you look at the safety based on module that it prioritized the smooth flow of traffic. So the movement, the flow, the movement of traffic. So they just change words, change the sentence structure, and expect you to lift just a word from this passage into okay. All right, so that number 8 is traffic. Then moving on, it says pedestrians are led to access point and encouraged to cross one dash at a time. Can I see your answer to that as well, please? Can I see your answer to that? That's where I find mine. So on wide major roads, they often guide pedestrians to specific crossing points and slow down their progress across the road by using staggered access points to divide the crossing into blah, blah, blah. I have my answer. So I'm waiting for yours. Okay. I'm receiving answers now. There's a reason why I'm asking for your answers to this question. Okay, as expected. Okay, all right, thank you for that. So a lot of people said, while ensuring the movement of, no. Pedestrians are led to access points and encouraged to cross people say point at a time, okay? I was even expecting you to say one road at a time. Someone said one. So someone said to cross one at a time, okay? So that is tautology. So they were led to divide the crossing into two, so one for each carriageway. So I understand that in Nigeria, which most of participants of this Zoom meeting are, we don't use carriageway, but a carriageway is the answer. So now carriageway is the same thing we call lane at home, okay? So let's say this is a road, okay? And vehicles are moving here and they are coming like this on just one road. This is a single carriageway in the UK, okay? This is a single carriageway. But the one you call express at home, okay, is called a motorway, all right? In case you come across it later, there's nothing like express here. It is a motorway. So this motorway is a dual carriageway because when these ones are moving like this, these ones are going like, so this is a dual carriageway. So what they've done is that the access point is probably here, okay? And then there's a point where you can also stay here and press another. So you press something here, access point, so that it stops the traffic here. I'm just illustrating. You can cross, okay? Then you press this one again, stop the people here, and you can cross, all right? So while ensuring the movement of traffic is not disrupted, pedestrians are led to access points and encouraged to cross one carriageway at a time, your own lane. So allowed to cross one lane at a time or one road. And in this point, what you can see in the passage is a carriageway, all right? So you can use that grammar when you are talking when you are doing your speaking, okay, while you were about to cross the carriageway, okay, not the lane, all right? Let's move on to an unintended effect is to create psychological difficulties in crossing the road, particularly for less dash people. All right, so I'm not asking you for your answer, but if you look at this place, in doing so, they are always following each other. They make crossing feel longer, introducing psychological barriers, greatly impacting those who are least mobile. In least mobile here, they turn the least to less, so we still have less mobile people, which is still grammatically correct. Okay, less mobile people. Another result is that some people cross the road in a dash way, okay, and encouraging others to make a dangerous crossing to get around the guardrail. So some other people cross in a dangerous way, okay, in a dangerous way, all right? So what you can do, your answer is definitely between here to here for the next one. So you just, which word? So others to make dangerous crossing to get around the guardrails, okay? So it allows other people to cross in a dangerous way, sorry. The guardrails separate dash, comma, very important, okay, and make it more difficult to introduce forms of transport that are dash. So the guardrails separates what? So these barriers, these guardrails, don't just make it harder to cross the road, they divide, they separate communities, okay? I'm sure people are really dropping their answers. Beautiful, beautiful, all right? Okay, so, okay, so the guardrails divide communities, okay? Right, divide communities. separate communities, and make it more difficult to introduce forms of transport that are dash. Okay, transport that are decrease. So let's say the barrier, we have come to this place, and decrease opportunities for healthy transport that are healthy. Okay, if you are not sure yet, move on. As a result, many are now being removed, causing disruption, cost, and waste. So you can see and make it more difficult to introduce forms of transport that are healthy. Okay, thank you. Oh, so reading is very, very easy, very simple, if only you understand some of the tips. And if you have been in this class since July, you should start thinking like an IELTS reading examiner now. You should know what is in their mind. You should know exactly where they could put the answer. But I have just 1 minute. I would like to hear your response. Do you have anything to say? Anybody with any? Okay, so I'm going to end this meeting now, all right, and I'll come back just to address any concern. Yes, I can see someone is raising our hands. Okay, so I'm going to end this meeting. Oh, sorry, I've muted everyone. So I'm going to come back and address any of your concern, probably in 10, 15 minutes. Thank you for joining today once again. Don't forget to subscribe, share the video by the time we do that. All right, thank you.